My name is Arden Vale, 32 years old. I tie one last pink balloon to the fence post and step back, breath frosting in the October light as the yard comes into focus like a set on opening night. The picnic table wears 9 place settings, paper crowns folded into napkins, a kingdom of tiny thrones. The bounce house hums, princess turrets gleaming like sugar in the sun. On the dessert table, a pixel princess cake waits with 9 small candles standing at attention, as if they've trained for this exact moment. Perfect, I whisper, even though no one's around to hear. My watch ticks too loudly. 11:42. Mom and my sisters promised to come early, promised to help, promised. There's that thin word again, stretched over years until it's translucent. The sliding door squeals. Mila bursts out in her purple birthday dress, the skirt catching the light and scattering it in freckles across the grass. Is it time? Is it time? She sings, then stops. The yard is still. No older women balancing bowls of potato salad, no cousins tumbling in like puppies. Her eyes flick to the street, then back to me. Where's Grandma? And Aunt Sav and Aunt Lacey? Are they bringing Tyler? Her voice tilts up at the end, a little hopeful question mark suspended over nothing. They're on their way, baby, I say, forcing the sentence to wear a smile, probably just running a little late. Her face falls like a quick eclipse, and then, because she's 9, resilient, hopeful, she builds her smile back up from the bottom. Okay, I'm going to watch from the front window. She sprints inside. When the door clicks shut, I bite the inside of my cheek until copper blooms. I should know better. But some part of me always wants to believe this time will be different. My phone buzzes, a preview banner flashes, and I swipe it away before it resolves, catching only Platinum Sponsor and my surname. Probably spam, or work, or nothing. The doorbell rings. Mila's squeal ricochets down the hallway. I round the house just in time to see her open the door to only one person, Aunt Carol, a single bright island with a gift wrapped like it belongs in a window display. Happy birthday, sweet pea, Carol says, crouching and gathering Mila into a hug that looks like a shelter. Mila peeks over Carol's shoulder at the empty driveway. Is Grandma coming with you? Carol lifts her head, eyes meeting mine over Mila's hair. Something sharp flashes there, anger, regret, before she smooths it away and stands. I came on my own today, honey, but look what I brought. Mila holds the gift like it might float away. Mom, can I put this with the other presents? Of course, out back. The party's ready. She disappears, shoulders squared with purpose, and I turn to Carol. They're not coming, are they? She says, not bothering to whisper. My phone buzzes. I don't want to look, but I do. From Mom. Don't be dramatic. It's just a kid's party. We'll make it up to her at Christmas. Just a kid's party. Just my kid's party. A tiny crack forms down the center of something I've kept polished for years. By noon, other parents arrive like a tide. Bright dresses, little shoes, tissue paper rustling, the sugar-sweet smell of store-bought cupcakes. My neighbor from across the street shows up with folding chairs under one arm and a cooler of juice boxes rolling behind him. Mrs. Wilson from 2 doors down appears with a tray of finger sandwiches and a smile that understands more than it says. I move through the hour like I'm underwater, smiling in slow motion for photos, cutting cake, yelling across the hum of the bounce house. One at a time, please. Mila keeps glancing at the gate. Each time it opens, her face lights. Each time it's another classmate, the light dims, a little shorter to travel back. 10 times she asks some version of the same question, tugging my shirt while I refill the snack bowl. When are Grandma and Aunt Sav coming? Did they get lost? Did they see the bounce house? I smooth her hair. Not sure, baby. Look at all your friends here for you. She nods and runs off, but the set of her shoulders says everything she won't. Gifts come and go. Glitter pens, a unicorn hoodie, a book about constellations she hugs like a secret. Did Grandma forget my birthday? She whispers, so quietly I nearly pretend I didn't hear. I open my mouth to explain the unexplainable when Carol steps in, light as a hand on a fevered forehead. Your grandma has a terrible memory sometimes, she lies kindly, but that just means a surprise will find you on another day. Mila folds that sentence carefully and tucks it into the pocket where she keeps hope. The last of the classmates leave trailing helium balloons and frosting smears. The bounce house sighs itself to sleep, slumping in the grass. I stand at the sink with a stack of plates and the hum of after-party quiet around me. Water runs hot. The clink of ceramic sounds like tiny bells in a chapel I didn't realize I'd entered. Through the window, I watch Carol kneel on the driveway while Mila instructs her on rainbow architecture with sidewalk chalk. My phone buzzes again, a text from Mom. Need $350 for a family emergency. Can you transfer today? The plate cracks in my hands. A hairline first, then a clean break. I set the pieces down, dry my hands, and stare at the message. 3:48 p.m. The time she could have been handing napkins to 9 little girls. The time she could have been here. There is a shift I can feel, but not yet name, like a boat turning under the surface before anyone notices the wake. Another buzz, this time a social notification. I open it and the world tilts. Savannah, Mom, and Lacey raise mimosas in a photo under a geometric chandelier. Tyler throws up 2 fingers in the corner. The caption reads, "Family first." The comments blaze with hearts and clapping hands, a chorus of amen to the wrong sermon. I look up and meet my own reflection in the darkened window. I do not recognize the woman staring back, jaw set, eyes cold. Cold is steadier than hot. Cold can cut. "Hey, you!" Carol's voice floats in from the doorway, gentled. "Need help with those?" I nod. She takes the towel, drying as I wash. "Mila's chalking the entire solar system," she says, filling the silence. "We had to negotiate asteroid placement." She pauses. "Arden, this isn't right." Her voice wobbles on the last word, a tremor that suggests history I'm not ready to hear. I know. The words leave my mouth and land solid. Not a whine, not a plea, just a record of fact. We return plates to cupboards like we're shelving old versions of ourselves. Mrs. Wilson knocks lightly and slips in with Tupperware. "Extra sandwiches," she says, and then sees my face, sees the way Carol steadies a stack of bowls that doesn't need steadying. She reaches out, squeezes my forearm. "You let me know if you need more chairs next time. I'll bring the whole block." Later, the kitchen is quiet again. I collect the crumpled crepe streamers. I sweep up confetti that clings to the floor like it has nowhere else to go. A flash on my phone catches my eye. My email app lights with a subject line I only half catch. Platinum sponsor, confirmation attached. It slides away as another notification stacks on top. I think of all the times this family used my name for convenience and my spine for scaffolding. I should open the email. I don't. Instead, I open my banking app, look at a number that has to stretch into braces and rent and groceries and a winter coat 2 sizes ahead. "Mom?" Mila appears in the doorway, clutching a drawing. Stick figures under a lopsided rainbow. 2 people. 2. She holds it up. "Can this go on the fridge?" Her face is open, believing. "Of course," I say, and when I stick the magnet on, it clicks like a lock. That night, after dishes and bedtime and the ritual of picking a dress for school, "Purple again," she announces, and we laugh, because of course. I sit alone at the kitchen table. The house is so still I can hear the refrigerator breathe. My phone lies face down beside the salt shaker. When I can't bear the silence anymore, I flip it and scroll. Savannah has added a story. Brunch plates glazed with sunlight, my mother's hand in the frame, rings catching the flare. Family first blinks again, like a taunt. Then a message from Lacey. "You're the accountant. Just handle the deposit, LOL. Deadline this weekend." I stare until the letters blur. I think of the way Mila's shoulders slumped, the way she still tried to smile. I think of Carol wrapping my child in the truth disguised as a promise. I think of Mrs. Wilson's hand, soft and firm, like a benediction. I think of 9 empty chairs announced by a bounce house roaring quietly to keep itself upright. I think of my father leaving when I was 20, and my mother appointing me head of the household as if she were pinning a medal and not a target. I think of the calm that arrived at the sink, as precise and clean as a blade. I open my camera and take a picture of the yard through the glass. Deflated castle, paper crowns, a sky going lavender at the edges. I don't post it, I just keep it, to remember the exact shape of this moment when I stopped confusing being needed with being loved. The last thing I see before I put my phone on Do Not Disturb is my reflection in the black screen. The woman in it looks like someone I might want to know. I realize I've been waiting for my family to arrive when all along the love was already here, eating sandwiches at the edge of the driveway, chalk on their knees, a casserole in their hands, patience in their eyes. The shift inside me finishes its slow turn. By morning, I will have words for it. For now, I have certainty. Tomorrow, when another text arrives asking for money, I won't flinch. And when that email about a platinum sponsor resurfaces, I'll open it, and I will not be surprised by what I find. A week has passed since the party, though it still feels like the confetti's embedded somewhere under my skin. Every time I sweep, I find another pink scrap glinting beneath the table legs, stubborn as memory. Mila hums to herself at the kitchen counter, stacking crackers into towers while I spread peanut butter in neat, perfect circles. Her birthday crown, paper, bent, a little smudged, still hangs on the fridge. My phone buzzes again, dancing against the counter like it's impatient with me. The family group chat is alive for the first time in days. Mom, exciting news. Savannah's Suite 16, venue confirmed. $1,850 per guest. Arden will cover Grandma's share since she's on a fixed income. A beat later, Lacey. Correction. Suite 26, since Sav never had a real Suite 16. Make it special. Then, a PDF attachment. I open it and freeze. There's my headshot, my professional photo from LinkedIn, printed on glossy paper under the bold header, Platinum Sponsor, Arden Vale Accounting. My stomach flips. I scroll down the mock invitation. The words blur. They've used my name, my business logo, without permission, again. A message from Lacey pops up. You're the accountant, so just handle the deposit. Deadline's this weekend. Not a big deal. My reflection stares back at me from the dark screen. Flat, calm, cold. Not a big deal. Behind me, Mila's voice breaks through. Mom, can I have extra apple slices? I force a smile. Of course, baby. But as I slice the apple, the sound of the knife against the cutting board feels too loud. Like punctuation after every time they've used me. By lunch, my inbox has 3 new emails from Mom. Subject, don't overreact. Body, family first, Arden. You're the stable one. Be grateful you can help. Stable one. That's what they call me when they need something. The moment I say no, it becomes selfish. I pour Mila's milk, glance at the clock. 12:17. The kitchen smells like cinnamon toast and quiet resolve. I scroll through old Venmo history, and the numbers line up like ghosts. And $650. Savannah's salon rent, emergency. $420. Patio furniture for Mom. Family comfort fund. $840. Christmas gifts. You're good with numbers. You'll figure it out. $12,200. Lacey's car insurance lapse. One-time thing. The total $23,470. My breath catches. I whisper it aloud. $23,470. The number sounds like years stolen from my spine. My phone buzzes again. This time, a photo notification. Savannah has posted a shot of herself, trying on gowns at an upscale boutique, the caption glowing, "Planning my Suite 26. So blessed for supportive family." I almost laugh. Supportive, sure. The laughter tastes bitter. The doorbell rings. Mila races to answer before I can stop her. Aunt Carol steps in, the scent of baked cheese and basil trailing behind her. She's holding a casserole dish like an offering. Lunch delivery, she says. Lasagna, the real kind, not the guilt-flavored one your mother makes. Her eyes search my face. You look like someone reading a tax audit written in hell. I hand her my phone. You tell me. She scrolls, her lips pressing into a thin line. They used your photo? I nod. The gall of that woman, of those girls. I keep waiting for someone to notice how ridiculous it is, I say, quieter than I mean to. Carol slides the dish onto the counter. Oh, they notice. They just don't care. They learned from your mother that guilt is the cheapest currency. I laugh, sharp and humorless. And I've been their ATM. She reaches across, squeezes my wrist. You don't have to keep funding your own mistreatment. A small sound escapes me, half laugh, half sob. If I stop, I'm the villain. She shrugs. Villains get to sleep at night. The doorbell rings again. Mrs. Wilson stands outside, holding a foil-wrapped loaf. Banana bread, she says. Figured you could use something sweet that didn't come with strings attached. I invite her in, and she nods toward the lasagna. You two having a dinner party or a nervous breakdown? Both, Carol answers. Mrs. Wilson smiles knowingly. I've lived next to your family long enough to tell the difference. I blink. You know about... Oh, honey, she chuckles softly. We all see who visits and who doesn't. Her voice gentles. You're doing right by that little girl. Don't let them drain the joy out of her birthday, too. Later, when Mila's napping on the couch, I sit at my laptop. The spreadsheet is open again. I add 2 new rows. A $350. Family emergency. Requested during Mila's party. $1. Venmo. Congrats. Because that's the amount I'm about to send. I open the app, type in Mom's name, enter $1, and in the memo line, I write, congrats. It's a single act, small enough to look like nothing, but I can feel the tremor of it echoing through every corner of my chest. My thumb hovers over send. I picture Mila's face, waiting by the window last week. The way she whispered, did Grandma forget my birthday? I press send. The confirmation pops up instantly, and just like that, the tether snaps. By evening, I've made 3 phone calls I should have made years ago. The first, to the locksmith. 2 new locks, I say, front and back. The second, to the hotel listed in Savannah's contract. I forward screenshots and an explanation. Unauthorized use of my name, my image, my business. The manager apologizes profusely and promises my name will be removed. The third, to my boss. I'll be in early tomorrow, I tell him. Need to pick up an extra shift. Not because I have to, but because it's mine. The locksmith arrives at 2:15. A stocky man named Frank, whistling through his teeth as he works. He replaces both locks while humming something that sounds like freedom. All set, ma'am, he says, handing me 2 gleaming keys. Nobody gets in without these now. I hold them in my palm, heavy and cool, the first weight in years that feels like control. The afternoon sun filters through the blinds, soft and gold. Mila naps on the couch, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin. My phone keeps buzzing across the table, text after text after text. I don't even look. Instead, I make spaghetti. The sauce simmers, filling the kitchen with warmth that doesn't owe anyone anything. When Mila stirs awake, she rubs her eyes. Mom, can we have spaghetti tonight? We already are, I say. My voice is steady. Sure. She smiles, sleepy but content, and curls up at the table. By nightfall, my inbox holds a reply from the hotel manager. Subject. Resolved. Body. Your name and company have been removed from all promotional materials. We apologize for the oversight. I exhale a laugh, sharp, disbelieving, triumphant. Outside, the sky deepens to indigo. The kitchen clock ticks past 8:30. Mila hums a song from her favorite cartoon, spooning sauce into her mouth, oblivious to how everything has changed. For the first time in years, the silence around us feels clean. Not empty, not tense, just ours. I turn off my phone. Across the table, Mila says, Mom? Yeah? She twirls her spaghetti. Do you think Grandma will come next year? The question lands softly, but I feel its weight. I don't know, sweetheart, I say, brushing sauce from her chin. But even if she doesn't, we'll make it special. Just us. She nods, satisfied. Just us, she repeats, and grins, a noodle dangling from her fork. And for the first time, just us feels like more than enough. The pounding on my door rattles the picture frames. Arden Vale, open this door right now! My mother's voice cuts through the night like a blade. It's 8:47 p.m. Mila's in her pajamas, curled on the couch with her stuffed rabbit, frozen. I move quietly to the door, peek through the peephole. Mom's there, flanked by both sisters, Savannah and Lacey, arms crossed, faces tight with outrage. Behind them, the porch light throws sharp shadows across their expensive coats. Mom, Mila whispers, is that Grandma? Yes, I say softly, but she forgot to call before coming. The pounding continues. You can't ignore family, Savannah shouts. After everything we've done for you. I almost laugh. The everything they've done could fit in a teaspoon. Should we let them in? Mila's voice trembles. No, honey. I crouch beside her. Remember what we talked about. People have to respect our home. Through the door, I can hear Mom's voice, low and dangerous. You think you can embarrass us like that? You think there won't be consequences? Then, the sound of tires crunching on gravel, followed by a flash of blue light flickering through the window blinds. They actually called the police. Officer Thompson steps up onto the porch, calm and steady. I recognize him instantly. He coached Mila's soccer team last spring. Evening, Miss Vale, he says, tone professional but kind. We got a call about a family dispute, something about withheld property. Behind him, Mom crosses her arms, puffing up like a peacock. She's refusing to return family items that belong to us, she says, and she's been sending threatening messages. I open the door halfway, keeping my voice even. Officer, you're welcome to come in. Mila clings to my leg as I lead him into the kitchen. The air smells faintly of spaghetti sauce and lavender detergent. On the table, I've already laid everything out. My phone, a folder, printed screenshots, receipts, transfers, messages, years of them. I've been financially supporting them for years, I explain quietly, without repayment. I changed my locks today because I'm setting boundaries. There's no property, just no more money. He reads through the pages slowly. And the threatening messages? I scroll to the latest. From Mom. You'll regret this. Family is everything. Officer Thompson exhales, long and low. They're not used to you saying no. I nod. He stands, smoothing his uniform. I'll handle it. Through the peephole, I watch as he steps outside and speaks to them in that calm, measured tone police officers say for people trying too hard to look composed. Savannah gestures wildly. Lacey's crying now, mascara streaked. Mom's face tightens, fury contained only by pride. After a few minutes, they retreat, heels clattering down the porch steps. Mom turns at the last second, pointing a sharp finger toward the house. You'll hear from us, she hisses, before climbing into the car. The red taillights disappear down the street. The house is silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. I double-check the locks, then find Mila sitting on her bed, rabbit in her arms. Her eyes glisten. Mom, she whispers, am I not important enough? Is that why Grandma and Aunt Sav didn't come to my birthday? The question knocks the wind from me. I kneel, take her small hands in mine. No, sweetheart. You're the most important thing in the world. That's why I have to protect you from people who don't see us the way they should. She leans into me. I love you, Mom. I love you too. I tuck her in, pulling the blanket up to her chin. Her breathing evens out. She's asleep within minutes. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Mom. You'll regret this. Family is everything. I delete it without responding. Then another one comes in. Aunt Carol. You did the right thing. They're furious, but truth is on your side. A second later, Mrs. Wilson. Those brownies cooling on my counter aren't going to eat themselves. Come by tomorrow. And one from James, my coworker. Need extra shifts? I can swap you Saturday for your Tuesday. Then Mila's teacher. She seems happier this week. Everything okay at home? I set the phone down, heart full and aching all at once. The house feels different tonight. Lighter. Like air returning to a room that's been sealed for too long. Morning brings sunlight through thin curtains and the smell of coffee. My phone lights up again. Savannah Allen mentioned you in a post. I shouldn't, but I tap it. Her Facebook post fills the screen. When toxic people show their true colors, you finally see who's been using you all along. Some folks only care about money, not family. Guess blood isn't thicker than greed. 17 comments. Extended family, old school friends, strangers, all lining up to offer sympathy. So sorry you're dealing with that. You're better off without negative people. You deserve peace, girl. No one asks for my side. No one even wonders. The villain role fits easily when the costume's been tailored for years. I start typing, backspacing, retyping, paragraphs defending myself, proving, explaining. Then I stop. Instead, I write 5 words. I wish you all well, and I log out. I take Mila to school, the autumn air crisp enough to sting. She skips ahead, her backpack bouncing. Love you, Mom, she calls, before disappearing through the doors. The words follow me all the way home. At the house, I pour another cup of coffee and sit at the kitchen table. The same one where I signed away years of peace with every transfer and every apology. For the first time, the surface looks different, mine. I run a finger over a scratch near the edge, a faint groove from when Mila tried to carve a smiley face into the wood with a fork. I remember scolding her at the time. Now it feels like the mark of something real, something that belongs. That afternoon, an unfamiliar number flashes across my screen. I almost ignore it, then answer at the last second. Arden? The voice is older, roughened with time, but somehow familiar. It's your Uncle Robert, he says, your father's brother. I blink. Uncle Robert? I haven't heard from you since your graduation, I know. His sigh crackles through the speaker. Heard what happened. Your mother called me, trying to recruit allies, I suppose. My stomach twists. What did she say? Oh, the usual. How ungrateful you are, how you embarrass the family, how you've turned your back on her after all her sacrifices. He pauses. Sounded familiar, actually. Word for word what she said about your father before he left. My hand goes still around the coffee mug. What do you mean? Why do you think he left, Arden? I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. He said he needed a break. Robert chuckles sadly. That's what she told you. Truth is, he was broke. She'd drained him dry for years. Money, favors, even his retirement savings. He finally realized nothing he gave would ever fill her. He exhales. He wanted you kids safe, but by then, she'd already turned you into her replacement. I'm sorry, kiddo. History has a cruel way of repeating itself. The call ends, and I sit there for a long time, staring at the empty cup. Through the window, the neighborhood kids are chalking suns and stars on the sidewalk. Mila used the same pink chalk last week. The world outside moves on, quiet, normal, unburdened. When the doorbell rings, I half expect it to be another confrontation. Instead, it's Mrs. Wilson again, holding a casserole dish. Chicken and rice, she says, smiling. The ladies from St. Mark's will bring more tomorrow. Oh, Mrs. Wilson, that's really not... She cuts me off with a gentle pat on the arm. Some of us have been exactly where you are, she says. Family can be wonderful, or it can be quicksand. Before I can thank her, she adds, we've been keeping an eye out. Just so you know, if certain cars start showing up again, you'll get a call before they reach your porch. She leaves before I can answer, the warmth of the casserole seeping into my palms. When I set it on the counter, I notice an envelope taped underneath. Inside is a $200 gift card and a note in neat handwriting. For Mila's needs. No name, no strings. I sit down slowly, eyes stinging. These people owe me nothing. No shared blood, no old family guilt, and yet they show up. While the ones who share my last name can't even show up for my daughter's birthday. That night, after I tuck Mila into bed, I open my laptop. I pull up my old spreadsheet again, but this time I make a new column. Support received, no repayment expected. Row 1, Mrs. Wilson, $200 gift card. Row 2, Aunt Carol, casserole, consistent love. Row 3, James, shift swap offer. Row 4, Mila, laughter. The total doesn't add up in dollars, it adds up in peace. And for the first time in years, the math makes sense. 2 weeks later, the world feels quieter. Not empty, just reorganized. The noise of obligation has been replaced by a steadier rhythm. Breakfast with Mila, work, home, laughter. Sometimes silence. I never realized how loud guilt was until it was gone. The living room smells like paint. Sunshine yellow walls gleam where beige once dulled the space. Mila stands on a chair beside me, her hair tied up with a messy purple ribbon. You missed a spot, Mom, she says, pointing at a patch near the ceiling. I squint. You're right, good eye. She beams, dipping her brush into the tray with exaggerated care. Yellow drips down her handle, splattering her shirt. Careful, I laugh. Now we match, she says, dabbing a dot of paint on my cheek. She's right, and it feels good. A knock rattles the front door. James stands outside, holding a wooden bookshelf under one arm like it weighs nothing. Special delivery, he grins. Built it myself. You said you needed more room for Mila's books. You didn't have to, I start, but he waves it off. What else was I going to do this weekend? Watch golf? His laugh fills the small house like warm light. I direct him to the window corner, where sunlight gathers in late afternoons. He sets the shelf down, dusts his hands, and glances at the fresh paint. Looks like a new place, he says. It feels like one. He nods, eyes kind. New locks, new paint, new rules. Not bad, Vale. After he leaves, Mila arranges her books by color. It's like a rainbow, she says proudly. Exactly like one. I step back, take in the scene. Yellow walls, her laughter, sunlight catching dust motes like glitter. For the first time in years, the house looks like it belongs to us. Not borrowed, not burdened. That night, after Mila's asleep, I open my laptop. The glow from the screen lights the room in soft blue. I type education savings accounts into the search bar. My budget spreadsheet sits open beside it. I remove every column labeled family emergency. The numbers shift and settle. For the first time, there's extra, $732 a month. I stare at it for a long time. It's not fortune, but it's freedom. Enough for braces, a college fund, maybe even a small vacation. Enough to build, not just survive. I open a new account in Mila's name and make a small deposit. Not much, but it's something that stays. A week later, Mrs. Wilson calls. You two free Saturday? She asks. The neighborhood's holding a picnic at the park. Bring that girl of yours. She can show off her chalk art. Mila's face lights up when I tell her. Can we make cookies? We can make 3 batches. She squeals, racing to the kitchen. As we bake, flour dusts her nose and laughter fills the air. These moments used to feel rare, like I had to earn them after enough sacrifice. Now they just happen. Sunday morning, I pour coffee, scrolling through emails. One subject line freezes me. From Hotel Grand Leclerc. Subject, confirmation, platinum sponsor update. My heart skips. I open it, breath held. The manager writes, as requested, your name has been removed. However, our records show the original contract contained your verified e-signature, time-stamped and confirmed via an IP address registered to... My eyes narrow. Lacey's apartment address. They forged my name. A quiet anger moves through me. Not the explosive kind, but cold, deliberate, the kind that plans. I take screenshots, save the attachments, and forward them to my attorney contact at work, adding a single line, unauthorized use of business identity. Please advise. It's not revenge, it's protection. This time I'm not reacting, I'm preparing. Later that evening, Mila sits cross-legged on the rug, cutting paper snowflakes. Mom, she says, without looking up, can I invite Aunt Carol for movie night? Of course. She's fun, Mila adds. She doesn't make everything about her. Her words sting, not because they're cruel, but because they're true. When Carol arrives, she brings popcorn and warmth. She settles on the couch beside Mila, who's already buried under a blanket. So what are we watching? Mila grins, the one where the dragon learns to trust people again. Carol laughs softly. Fitting. We watch together, the glow of the TV painting the room in flickering gold. At one point, Carol leans toward me. You're different, you know. I glance at her. Different how? Peaceful. It suits you. I smile faintly, still figuring out what that feels like. Well, she says, popping another piece of popcorn, don't give it back. Thanksgiving approaches faster than I expect. An envelope arrives, cream cardstock with gold trim. Inside, an invitation written in my mother's familiar script. Thanksgiving dinner. Family reconciliation, water under the bridge, if you contribute $750 for the venue. I laugh, out loud, sharp. Mila looks up from her drawing. What's funny? Nothing, sweetheart. Just old habits trying to sneak back in. I place the invitation beside her school photo on the counter. Her smile is wide, real. That night, after tucking her into bed, I sit at the table and pull out an old family photo. Christmas 7 years ago. Dad's still in it. We're all smiling, but I remember what came after. Mom yelling about the credit card bill, Savannah crying, Lacey pretending to faint from stress. My phone sits beside me, Mom's number glowing softly. One tap would pull me back in. Instead, I reach for a pen. The next morning, I start writing. Not a text, not a rant, a letter. 3 copies, actually. To Mom, to Savannah, to Lacey. Each begins the same. This isn't about money. It's about respect. I list every loan, every broken promise, every manipulation. Dates, amounts, outcomes. I write calmly, clinically, like the accountant I am. And at the end, I add one line in bold ink. Any future contact must come without financial request or guilt. Otherwise, communication will cease. I seal the envelopes, attach certified mail stickers, and drop them at the post office on my lunch break. When the clerk stamps them, it sounds like a gavel hitting wood. That evening, a small envelope waits in my mailbox. Mila's name is scrawled across the front in glitter pen. Inside, a handmade card covered in stickers. Sorry I couldn't come to your birthday. Happy 9th. For ice cream. $3 bills fall out. Mila gasps. Bethany sent this. She's saving for a bike. She holds the bills like treasure. Can we go get ice cream tomorrow? Of course we can. She grins. Best card ever. I watch her skip down the hall, and my throat tightens. $3 from a child saving for a bike. Worth more than all the promises my family ever made. A few nights later, the phone rings just as I'm finishing dishes. The number on the screen makes me freeze. Grandma. We haven't spoken in months. I let it buzz 3 times before I finally swipe to answer. Arden, her voice trembles, halfway between worry and accusation. You need to fix this. Fix what, Grandma? Your mother and sisters. They're fighting constantly since those letters arrived. About money, of course. Savannah says Lacey promised you'd cover more. Lacey says your mother pushed too hard about that Sweet 16 nonsense. They're all blaming each other for driving you away. I pinch the bridge of my nose. Grandma, I didn't drive anyone anywhere. I just stopped driving myself into the ground for them. You've always been the sensible one, she insists. Be the bigger person. They need you to keep this family together. I look across the room to where Mila sits on the carpet, arranging her stuffed animals for another tea party. Her tiny voice carries softly through the room. You sit here, Mr. Bunny. You're next to Mom because she's the hero. A lump rises in my throat. I am being the bigger person, Grandma, I say quietly. I'm making a different choice now. She sighs, disappointed. You sound just like your father. I hope so, I whisper and end the call. Saturday morning arrives bright and full of noise, the kind that feels alive, not heavy. Paintbrushes clatter against glass jars as Mila and I tackle the last unpainted wall. Think we're almost done? She asks. Almost. I roll over the final patch of white, watching the pale yellow swallow it whole. The room transforms with each stroke. Lighter, warmer, freer. Mila grins. It's like sunshine inside. That's the idea. The front door opens, and Aunt Carol steps in, arms loaded with grocery bags. Hope you two are hungry, she announces. I brought pancakes, fruit, and about 200 paper towels because I saw the paint on your shirts from the driveway. Mila giggles. We match. Carol laughs. Then I guess that makes us a family of artists. She sets down the groceries and eyes the room. You've been busy. Looks beautiful. It feels better, I say. Carol tilts her head, noticing something in my tone. Peaceful suits you, Arden. Don't lose it. Sunday afternoon, I'm organizing files in the home office when the doorbell rings again. For a heartbeat, old fear flickers. The memory of pounding fists and police lights. But it's only the mail carrier, holding a small package. Return address, Robert Vale. Uncle Robert. Inside is a faded photograph. Dad at my 5th birthday, standing behind me as I blow out candles. His eyes are tired, shoulders slumped, the same quiet exhaustion I used to see in my own reflection. Beneath it, a note. History repeats itself until someone breaks it. I think you just did. R. My fingers shake as I fold the letter back into the envelope. That night, I lie awake long after Mila's fallen asleep. The house hums softly. The fridge, the heater, the kind of silence that used to feel lonely, but now feels earned. I get up, walk to the kitchen, and open the refrigerator just for the light. A dozen sticky notes are plastered to the door. Reminders, grocery lists, little drawings from Mila. My favorite says, My mom taught me that love doesn't hurt. I run my thumb over the words. Then, almost without thinking, I reach for a notebook and start writing. Not lists, not loans, just memories. Small things I don't want to forget. The sound of Mila's laughter when the spaghetti sauce splattered. Carol's steady hands when everything else was falling apart. Mrs. Wilson's banana bread. James's easy laugh. Real family, brick by brick, building itself quietly around us. Thanksgiving comes and goes without a phone call from my mother. The silence is strange, but peaceful. Instead, I spend the day at Mrs. Wilson's, surrounded by neighbors, Carol and James. Who burns the first batch of dinner rolls and pretends it was part of the recipe. Mila helps serve pie, her smile lighting the whole room. Later, she falls asleep on my lap as laughter echoes through the small house. Mrs. Wilson leans over and whispers, Looks like you found your people. I nod, finally. December arrives with crisp air and the smell of pine. Mila and I pick out a small Christmas tree from the grocery store lot, 4 feet tall, lopsided, perfect. We decorate it with popcorn garlands and handmade ornaments she brings home from school. The presents beneath it aren't extravagant. A new sketchbook, colored pencils, a telescope I found at a garage sale, but they're wrapped with care, each tag in my neat handwriting. On Christmas Eve, Carol arrives with cookies and a leather-bound album. For you two, she says, smiling. I open it. On the first page, in her elegant script, it reads, Our family of 2. The pages are blank, waiting. Room to grow, she says softly. January finds us volunteering at Mila's school. February brings postcards from Uncle Robert, each one with small encouragements. Keep building. Keep choosing peace. And as the months turn, life becomes simple in the best way. Bills are paid. The house is quiet. Laughter comes easier. When October rolls around again, Mila's 10th birthday, we plan a picnic in the park. Nothing fancy, just her classmates, cupcakes, and a blanket under the trees. Every invitation we send is answered with a yes. No excuses, no brunches, no ghosts. That afternoon, as I watch Mila blow out her candles, I realize I'm not waiting for anyone anymore. The circle around us is smaller, but it's whole. That evening, after she's asleep, I sit at the kitchen table. The room is golden from the lamp above. On the wall hangs a photo from the park. Me, Mila, Aunt Carol, Mrs. Wilson, James, and Uncle Robert. Below it, a small wooden plaque, Our Family. I open my journal and write the final line. Real family isn't who shares your blood. It's who shows up when it matters. Then I look straight at the camera, at you. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story too.